amazing. Namaste, good evening, Vasumathi ji. How are you doing?
Good evening, and I'm fine, Karthik. Thank you. Great to be with you.
Amazing. Okay, Vasumathi ji, tell me something about yourself. What do you do, and something about yourself, so that everybody
So,
can.
I'm the CEO of a trust called QMed Knowledge Foundation based in Mumbai. We are about 15 years old, and we teach certain very specific research methods to the medical community.
Wow. And I heard a very interesting story. Like when we were looking at this, I think at some point of time you wanted to close your foundation. This is what you were telling. Yeah. Can you tell us something more about this, because it's very
Sure.
interesting.
Sure. Yeah. So what happened was what we are doing is something very difficult to sustain in itself, because even the community doesn't know these areas that we teach. So telling them why they should learn it has been a very difficult path. But as we were picking up in the last many years, the COVID time became very difficult, like it was for more people. On one hand, we got very productive. We created e-learning courses so that we could reach out to the entire community. But on the other hand, doctors obviously were busy with COVID. So no doctor, no medical college, no hospital really had the time to listen to our offering about e-learning courses, etc. Okay, small number of medical colleges took it, but that was no way it was going to sustain. And every month money was going out of our family so that I could pay salaries for my small number of employees and many other things. So actually, somewhere in 2022, we came to a conclusion that by March 2023, 31st March, if we don't see a change in scenario, we'd have to consider closing the foundation. That's where we were.
So if by 31st March 2023, if situations wouldn't have changed, possibly you should have shut down the foundation. That's what.
Absolutely. That's right. We even had some talks with people considering handing it over to them and stuff like that. That level.
Then what happened actually afterwards? What happened?
Yeah. So it was a series of what might seem like unconnected events, but obviously universe connects a lot of it. I happened to be in Bangalore in July 2022 on a work come vacation thing, just for a week. I did a bunch of meetings at medical colleges, etc. In fact, that is where with one of them, we talked about handing over in case we can't. And the good part was meeting a lot of friends and relatives. It got very hectic, and you can relate that if I say my husband and I covered every corner of Bangalore, how tiring that would have been. End of that week, on one hand, we were thrilled, but once I came back, I was completely exhausted. If I look back, I realized it was physical on one side, but the thought of having to close the foundation was weighing very heavily. Money being an issue every single month. And I came back, I was so tired that for a whole week, I just could not actually be productive at all. I was going to work, coming back, not doing anything. And then I felt this is just not on. And I don't know whether social media today, everybody says social media itself reads our minds. There was a Facebook ad with your beating procrastination course. I said, "Theek hai, 199, 299, all that is no price to pay for this. Let's try it out. Whatever the claims may be tall, anything, but let's try it out." And I enrolled for it. So in July, I did your course, and that was the first starting point for a lot of good things. So you can ask me more questions. I'll tell you about it then.
Okay, so what happened? Let's say July 2022, you did this, and afterwards, what happened?
Right. So I did the PMM.
Yeah, go ahead.
I did the PMM, and end of the 5 days, and around that time when you started talking about long term with you, I definitely wanted the long term because I loved those 5 days. I loved the 5 a.m. club that we got to see. I loved everything about it. But of course, when you said about you've got to pay so much, I said, where do I have money now? Even for this, I'll have to run to my husband and say family finances. And that's something which there was the bit of ego, there was a bit of all kinds of things that I said, no, I'm not falling into marketing traps. Let me first practice. Let me first practice whatever I've learned. And I decided to do that. I worked with my office team members, taught them whatever little, and said, we've got to now put heart and soul. So I got into that kind of thing. One mention that you made in some connection, however, was a trigger to say, I must do it whenever I can. And that was about one or two women you mentioned who were homemakers and they started managing finances. For me, that touched a chord because my father died very early when I was 13. And my mother was completely shaken at that time. Though she was a graduate, good in English, everything, she used to be terrified of even signing a check. And suddenly she was thrown into managing finances. But within the next, say, about 3 years, she not only managed her own, she managed her mother's and her aunt's. And she did that till the end of all their lives. So that was something which was always a challenge for me as well. And though my husband is a finance person, he's offered to teach me so many times, things used to hold me back. When I said, okay, if spending more time with Karthik is going to make me good in this, I have to somehow do this. Yet I didn't join immediately. It took me quite some time, and I actually joined your long-term program only in January of 23.
Wow, 6 months almost like after that.
Yes.
So what happened after you joined? What
After
happened in
I joined,
first 3 months? First three
after I
months and us.
yeah, yeah. So after I joined, it was just sailing ahead because the first month it was watching some of the videos that you told me to and then presenting the vision board. Vision board was something I just loved doing, and significant things in that was about most of it was about our foundation. And I had said that I had never dreamt these numbers earlier, but I had put down that from April 2024, we should get 25 lakhs every month. And the first of such checks came in April 2023. So
Wow.
within 4 months, that happened. Yeah, I must say that this came from a grant from the pharma giant Pfizer. They had started talking to me approximately in June, July in the previous year. So, but at that time, it was just in the beginning phase, and 15 years I had seen so many, no great successes. I thought, okay, we have no idea how this is going to happen. And even if it does, it will take forever. Suddenly things changed, and on April 19th, if I recall, I got the check for 25 lakhs. And this is in advance, the whole money came saying that I have to do workshops in 10 AIIMS institutions in the country. That's a very prestigious thing.
Wow.
They started by saying 10 medical colleges and then said, why not start with AIIMS? Start big, which was great. Otherwise, I would never have got entry into AIIMS. And by now, in the next 3 months and all that, we've finished 6 AIIMS institutions so far. 4 more are lined up to happen in the next coming couple of months. It was mainly in July and August. I finished 6 AIIMS institutions, did a workshop there, plus offered our e-learning courses, and have had great reviews, plus press appearance as well. So
wow.
yeah.
So out of 10 games, you already covered 6.
Already covered 6. Yeah.
Wow.
See, April we got the money. May and June went in planning because they were all on vacations. July and August, 6 AIIMS got done. So that way.
Amazing, brilliant. So now you are, normally what we say that we'll help the people to build the capability of a CEO. Now you are already a CEO.
Yes.
How exactly it made a difference when you're already a CEO? How exactly it helped you?
So, when I started 15 years ago as a CEO, I knew my subject well, but that was it. Over the years, there was a lot of tough learning. But in this phase of being mentored, one is I've learned a lot of things like finances in different ways. But more importantly, the thinking big, for example, I never had the guts to think big. Whereas now I think only in crores and lakhs for the foundation. Otherwise, it used to be, no, that kind of thing. This is a small effort, that's the way it was. Whereas now I think more importantly, forget the money part of it, more importantly, it's not just AIIMS. Now my vision is that I will go to the National Medical Commission and tell them that our teaching is so unique. There's nobody else doing it. And this has to become a mandate in all the 650 medical colleges. Then go to the Dental Council and say all your hundreds of dental colleges and so on. That is our aim now, nothing less than that.
Wow.
So
That's amazing.
thinking, as you keep saying, prepare your brain, prepare yourself. That preparation has become very sound now. And then it's implementation.
So from a CEO, in layman's language, whatever the level you were earlier, and now actually your level of CEO has gone up inside you, your CEO of your level is done. Probably you're looking at
Absolutely.
moving towards like Fortune 500 company, like how they've got it in the foundation level. You want to take your foundation to that level, isn't it?
I want to take it in such a way that the work is considered equivalent of a Bharat Ratna.
Amazing. I love that. And I wish you all the best. And may God bless you with all those happiness, energy, and all those resources that you would get so that you can go and get that Bharat Ratna one day for sure.
Thank you. I've actually visualized it in one of your programs. So let's hope. And, when you mentioned energy, like the last AIIMS I did was Jodhpur, and I knew 4 doctors there. They were people I knew over different programs. The first thing each one commented is, you look, because they're all meeting me after quite a gap, thanks to COVID and all that. They said, you look just the same. And how come you're so full of energy? That was the question each of them asked.
Wow.
So that obviously has been showing.
Amazing, brilliant. So the energy level has gone up drastically after you started working with this.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you so much, Vasumati ji, for coming here and actually sharing your experience. And for those of them who probably they're actually looking at this and they're still thinking what is their, they're in the fence, they're thinking whether they should continue or they should not continue, join. What is your actual suggestion?
Call me and I'll tell you what to do. That's what I would say. Because I can understand when if you don't know who the person is, you will think. But that's where the 5-day PMM, which comes at a throwaway, is enough to judge a coach or a mentor. And then it's about, you have to go with trust. I mean, it's like speaking from my field, if I'm going to a doctor, I have to go with trust. If something doesn't work, okay, it doesn't work. That's a chance that you're taking. So you just have to invest and try. And you've anyway had success in the PMM, you're going to be, there's really nothing much to doubt. And then, of course, I tell batches whom I'm helping you coach off and on, I tell them that you have to implement and learn. You've got to do your homework, then it happens. And I think all of them, whoever I've talked to a lot, everybody's been wonderful. Some of my batchmates who have been working with me. In fact, yesterday I was talking to one of them who's around my age group, and she was saying, I wish I had met Karthik 30 years earlier, but that time he would have been a small boy. So it wouldn't have worked.
I'm good. Amazing. So what would have been, so one of the, normal question people will have is, right? How is the community? How is the team? What kind of, support that you actually get it inside our team or community?
Our team is just amazing because it's apart from you and Hema and that kind of a thing. And now I also work with you whenever I can. That is one side of it, getting the support. But all other participants, we've become a family. We've all met online, offline, everything, and people in the same city, we try and make the effort to meet. Everybody is ready to help each other. It's been, whether it's personal or professional, everybody's gone out of the way to help. In my case, this Dr. Geeta Sharma has been helping me with so many things, with information about who is there in what in healthcare, etc. So those kind of things have been extremely helpful, the right connections and the right networking. So that's where it is.
Amazing, brilliant, and congratulations once again, and all the best.
Thank you so much.